So tell me that what actually causes acne? Is it just like hormones, or like are there any other factors involved as well?
So it's I wish I could just give you one answer, but there's so many causes of acne.
Yeah.
Now, acne is a it's a generic it's a wide term, and acne is caused by inflammation of what we call the pilosebaceous unit. So the pilosebaceous unit is the glands on your skin, on your face, for example, on your back, on your upper chest. These are the areas which can be sometimes affected by acne, and these glands become blocked. They become colonized with bacteria, and that bacteria will then lead to inflammation,
Yeah.
and that causes that pimple that you traditionally see in acne.
Okay. Okay. And is it true like having chocolates also cause acne and
So
pimples?
there's evidence that anything that's got a high glycemic index, what do we mean by a high glycemic index? Is something which releases sugar fast.
Okay.
So not just chocolates, but also potatoes, rice. These things have a high glycemic index. So anything that has a high glycemic index
Yeah.
can interfere
Yeah.
with the normal function of the skin.
Yeah.
So, for example, we know that these things will cause a spike in your insulin levels. They will cause a spike in another hormone called insulin-like growth factor,
Yeah.
and these hormones are implicated in worsening of the acne.
Hmm.
Okay, so we know that having a low GI diet, so low glycemic index diet, actually makes acne better. And there's
Okay.
been lots of big studies done on this.
Yeah.
And so diet is important with acne.
Okay. And what about the anti-acne face washes? Are they helpful?
That's a great question. So, look, there's two ways of looking at it. They are helpful in the sense that they help to take some of that sebum, which is the greasy stuff
Okay.
that you
Yeah.
see on your
Yeah.
skin.
Yeah.
They help to take some of it off. But
Okay.
realistically, how long do you leave a facial, a wash on your face?
Yeah.
A couple of seconds, right? I
Yeah.
mean, at the most, you might leave a product on your face for a minute
A
before you
minute.
wash
Yeah.
it off, right?
Yeah.
So, how much time does that product have to work on your skin? Not long.
Yeah.
You've got less than a minute for that
Hmm.
product to work on your skin.
Yeah.
So are they really that effective, or is it more of a way of companies marketing and making money on it?
Hmm.
But there are products that are helpful that you leave on overnight.
Okay.
But for example, rejuvenating washes or abrasive washes,
Yeah.
they're less likely to be helpful with acne.
Okay. Okay. And are there any like long-term treatments that people can adapt to get rid of acne?
So the things that you can buy over the counter, so
Yeah.
many of these things you will be probably familiar with, are your AHAs and BHAs. What are AHAs and BHAs? So AHAs are a type of acid. So we've got things like glycolic acid, lactic acid, which
Yeah.
you often find in lots of cosmetic products.
Yeah.
And these act like a little bit of a peel. They're a bit like an exfoliant. They
Okay.
take off a layer of your skin. They help to declog your pores.
Yeah.
And then you have things which we call BHAs, which is like salicylic acid. Salicylic acid is found in lots of different cosmetics. Just to name a few, CeraVe do a few brands, La Roche-Posay do a few brands of salicylic acid, The Ordinary do a few brands. There's lots of different brands that you
Yeah.
can buy with salicylic acid. Now, salicylic acid is quite helpful because it helps to, in acne, you have a buildup of dead skin, keratin, in the pores.
Yeah.
And that's what causes the pores to become blocked.
Yeah.
And so this salicylic acid helps to break that dead skin down
Okay.
and opens up the pores.
Yeah.
And so
Okay.
salicylic acid is actually a really helpful product to start off with. If you can't get an appointment with your doctor, for example,
Yeah.
start off with that, see if it works. And if it does work, continue with it. And it's very safe to use. It also has some anti-aging properties as well.
Yeah.
And there's a new product on the market called niacinamide.
Yeah.
So niacinamide is a derivative of vitamin B. And that's another great product which a lot of people are using for acne. It has anti-inflammatory, anti-aging effects.
Yeah.
And so there's so many new products on the market now that weren't available, let's say, a few decades ago. And so there's a lot more education around acne, and people are using better products.
Yeah.